Investigué. Y tu reputación te persigue. La calle te teme, la calle te tiene miedo. Y si tú obtienes control de esta situación, tú puedes tener tu propio cartel, ¿me entiendes?
And while all of this is happening, where will you be?
Nowhere. Look, the machine is ready to go as soon as I say go. After that, I'm basically.
So, if it wasn't Tariq on the phone with maybe Tommy, do y'all actually think it was probably Kane? And what do you guys think about, I guess, like Jenny and Blanca potentially? If it is like another spinoff show or whatever, maybe probably targeting, I don't know, like maybe Chinadu or something. Like they discover information about, Chinadu or Noma having a brother and they restart the whole thing up again, right? But for today's topic at hand is going to be, I guess, like a really my I guess final thoughts and yeah, my final thoughts and what I really think about like the whole Tariq, going back from the original Power to like Power Book 2 Ghost and everything that Tariq has gotten himself into from the first season of Power Book 2 Ghost all the way up until now, and I guess like the decisions that he did and everything that kind of like led him to what he became at the end, which is basically, I guess, the ghost in the machine, right? And I've had my gripes with like Tariq and like the character that they had like for years, because it was like when you go back from like in the original Power, from his first interactions with Kanan, and then from being around Dre and about being around like the old characters from back then, and how all of that basically like influenced him to being who he is right now. And then with the stuff that Ghost did with Angela, he cheated and he basically left the family for Angela, and it really kind of like got to like Tariq, and it really like messed him up like psychologically, where it's like it sort of makes sense as to why he can't really have like a maybe like a meaningful like relationship because of what Ghost actually did to Tasha. So I guess you can say when you look at stuff that happened like going forward with like with Lauren and Effie and even Diana to like a degree, where it was just like he didn't really understand that he was technically becoming sort of like Ghost in a sense, because Lauren was his main chick at one point, but from what Courtney Kip said in like in her interviews back in the days, where it was like Lauren was, I think, too cold, and I think Effie was either too warm, and then I guess Diana was too hot, or something like that she said back then. And it's like for Tariq to like obviously like move on very quickly after like Lauren's death, it kind of like it kind of like sort of made things difficult in the end for like Tariq, because it's like he took that out on Effie when Effie was trying to like protect him. And how many times that Tariq actually lied to like a lot of people, and like Braden, for instance, like how many times he lied to Braden and he did stuff that Braden told him not to do, and then it didn't really hurt their friendship, not much. It didn't really hurt their friendship that much. And Effie, I mean, let me know in the comment section down below too, like, do y'all believe that Effie was actually perfect for Tariq? Out of everybody, like from Diana, Lauren, right? Do y'all believe that? Okay, you know what? Out of Lauren and Effie, do you think that was probably most suitable for Tariq, right? Because again, Tariq sort of like made those really like bad decisions on his own based off like past actions. And the thing is, it's like he never really understood like the relationship that James St. Patrick had with Angela. He never fully understood it. So it's like for him to like, blow up as the way he did. I mean, granted, it made sense for him to get upset because, Tasha's his mom, and for him to step out on Tasha, it sort of messed him up. As I said before, it makes sense as to why he probably couldn't have anything meaningful and sustainable, because he was like always, moving around as he should. But I guess the thing is, it's like for Tariq of having like the mantle of him being like Ghost, and eventually getting the name and the title at the end. It's like I've already said it. It's like a no in a sense. But if I was to be fair, to Tariq, like I said before, he did do something that Ghost never did, and was to have like the police and a task force in his pocket, so that way anything would come arise, or anything that would flow up in his direction, the task force would handle it and just sweep everything underneath the rug. So that's like the one thing I could say I could probably give Tariq. But when you look at everything that he's done and what led up to certain events, it's like half of the things that Tariq did is something that Ghost would have done. Because think about it like this: when Tariq was basically being taught by Kanan about the streets and about moving weight and all this other stuff, it's like he never fully, like, he'd been around Kanan. He has been around Kanan, but I would say there was more to Kanan that Tariq never understood and he never fully learned. Because it's like, if this was either like Kanan or Ghost, like going back for like the Tejada family, because Tariq would have, if this was Kanan, the Tejada family would have been done, completely wiped off the board. It would have not been the way it was at the end. They would have been completely wiped off the board, because I've said, countless amounts of times that the Tejada family, they was sort of like I wouldn't say useless, but they was like a means to an end. Like, they could have died at any point, wrapped them up, and that should have been it. And Tariq should have just been focusing on things that he should have been focused on, because the family itself was the problem. Because we've seen a little bit of their back history about how, Monet had to be really strict on, the kids, because Lorenzo Tejada went to prison for like a little while, so she had to be really strict on them. And it's like, again, like, they was the family, because it was always like, Drew and Kane always being put against each other, and then Diana was like sort of in the middle of wanting to do something else. Even Drew wanted to do something else at one point. So it's like the whole entire family, had like its struggles and its problems. And for all of that to affect Tariq, it's like, in my opinion, again, they should have just died. He could have just taken them out, and then that should have been it, but it didn't really go down that way. And it was like a lot of these things that Ghost probably would have not made. He would have probably not made those types of mistakes that Tariq did going forward with the family. I mean, if Tariq would have had to, use them, he would have had to use them for like a little bit. But then if he would have found out they was being too much of a nuisance, he would have immediately got rid of them. So again, that's something completely like out of the ordinary. And Two-Bit, Two-Bit, I think it was like another character that, even though I liked him, I personally liked him, I know a few other people who's also liked the Two-Bit. But in my honest opinion, if you have a bully that's constantly coming up to you and saying, "I come to collect, where's the money?" You either, out of A, you're gonna beat that bully's ass, or two, you're gonna probably, or C, sorry, B, you're gonna most likely kill the bully, right? And everything that Two-Bit was sort of doing to Tariq was also meaningless at some points. And it's like, Ghost would have never allowed Kanan to bully him. He would have been like, "Hold up here, you want me to check you again like we had in that fight?" Like, no, because even when Kanan was working with, Ghost again, because at the time when they was trying to get paid back against Dre, and I forgot his name, Cristobal, Dre and Cristobal, right, for what they was doing at the time. And it was like, yeah, they was working together, but Kanan was like, sort of like, on Ghost, like, that little motherfucker, like, yeah, he almost killed me, but I gotta keep my eyes on him, because Ghost is, he had to keep his eyes on him a little bit. Not saying he was scared or anything, but he just had to keep his eyes on Ghost, because he knew what it was about. But it's just like, again, all of these things that happen with like Tariq, um, Kanan would have never done these mistakes. He would have never made these mistakes, and Ghost would have been another person that would have not made these mistakes, as what Tariq was doing with like Mecca, Noma to a degree. Because I think, if anything, because remember, when Kanan got out of prison, he always wanted to get back into the fold. He was like, okay, what's the connections? That was his thing. So I think Tariq would have continued to work with like Noma, probably would have continued to work with her. I think Tariq being the one to have taken like the Ghost mantle and having the name Ghost, it's like, no. I've already said it before, like, I don't think Tariq have surpassed Ghost. I don't think he have surpassed him, but I would say that he I mean, he didn't really learn anything. Like, let's be honest, like he didn't really learn too much. It's just that I feel like the situation was kind of like granted to him. Like, not the situation, but the opportunity, which is basically granted to him. That, oh, here you go, like here's your title, and everything that you have achieved is like it's now yours. And to try to say that he did something that Ghost would have never done is not really true, because if you look at everything that happened in the original Power, it's like if Ghost would have never got with Angela, he still would have had things under control. He still would have had things under control. He still would have been doing things with the nightclub, and probably would have eventually tried to get out of the whole Lobo situation. I think that still would have happened, but then the Serbs and everything else that followed suit. But I think Ghost would have still done the things that he would have done, right, with maybe like minor to no distractions at all, right? But he still would have done things much more smarter and strategic rather than what Tariq did, because Tariq allowed too much to happen. Like, he allowed his enemies to breathe. He allowed too much. It was just like he forgot everything that what Kanan taught him. He forgot all about that. So it was just like, what was the point? And then lastly, Tariq never fully known James St. Patrick's ghost. He never fully learned anything about what his father did, because, Ghost never told him about nothing. And it's like, for him to take the mantle, you would have to understand the man to really be who supposed to be, following your footsteps of Ghost. Because when he was explaining himself in like season 3, how he was smarter than him, how he was better than him, and how he was talking to Tasha that he's not like Ghost, and Ghost was stupid. Like, he was just downplaying a man that he never fully knew. Like, he never knew that he was smart. Tasha had to correct Tariq at certain points in the story where it was just like, no, he was smart. It was just that the cheating is sort of like kind of like gotten away, and him, he was also in his own way. But it was just that the things that he did, he was very strategic about, and he was very smart. But it was just that he had a lot of complications that sort of like messed him up at the end. But it's like, again, like I said, Tariq never fully understood who James St. Patrick was. He never really understood his past. He never understood like his motives, his motivations, the reasons as to why he did what he did, the changes that he had to make. Like, he never understood any of that. So for him to say that he's gonna surpass him, he never got the blueprint. He didn't understand what Ghost had to sacrifice and to do to get to where he was at, as to why he got the moniker and the name of being Ghost. So it's like, I don't know. I think that what they did with the story, I will always still say it was rushed. I still think that if people want to say that he got the title, sure, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. Yeah, I believe that he got the title, but do I say that I say he probably got like a different title. I wouldn't say he would have gotten like the Ghost title. I wouldn't say that. I say that he probably like got. Yeah, you know what? I give him. Shit, I was gonna say I give him like the Baby Kanan, maybe like the Baby Kanan title. Not even that, because Kanan wasn't. You know what? Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll probably say like Baby Kanan title, because younger Kanan did make a little bit of some mistakes here and there. So I'll say he probably got the Baby Kanan title. He wouldn't have gotten like the Ghost moniker of, being strategic and being smart and doing the things that he, claimed to have done. Because yeah, Baby Ghost was Baby Ghost, but he gotten better throughout time. And Tariq, on the other hand, it was just like the opportunity was just given to him. Like, oh, there you go. But nah. I will still stand by my statement. I will probably say, like, Tariq didn't really get the title. He didn't really get it. He didn't earn the title, I should say. He didn't really earn the title of becoming like Ghost or anything. But like I said, you just gotta look at everything that happened in the past, and Tariq's past and Ghost's past, and you have to like sum up a lot of these things. Because when we get Power Origins, we're gonna see more of the things that Ghost had to probably deal with, or younger Ghost had to deal with, and then it's gonna like build up his story even more to be like, okay, this is what Tariq never fully gotten from Ghost, right? Rather than just like the things that he visually saw, but not the things that he fully understands. So, but let me know in the comment section down below, like, what you guys think. What you guys think about the potentials of Tariq from, I guess, what was it, like 10 years, 10, 11 years of power from what you guys would sum up from like the past and what you guys would think about into the future, and if there will be any spinoffs or any continuations, right? But I'm just gonna be all for it. Be all for it. But like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I catch you all in the next one.